Day number 10. Can you believe you've been at this for 10 flipping days, man? 10 days. You know the routine and you know the drill. I'm going to ask, look, 30, it doesn't matter. Another 20 days, I'm going to keep saying the same thing. Hype music and focus music. If you haven't shared your playlist with others, by all means, drop it in here. Let's share playlists. I've shared mine. You guys have my playlist. Pretty simple. Same thing that I've listened to, right? But my playlist, yeah, it's 90 minutes long because I'm at a different space, right? Of 90-minute focus instead of a 30-minute focus. We are going to get you to where you can do it for 90 minutes. And you're like, how do I have 90 minutes? We'll break it all down for you. Trust me. You have 90 minutes. Help you get there. That's the process. The goal right now is 30 minutes. The next elevation is 60 minutes. Then the final destination is 90 minutes. How to really, really dig deep for 90 minutes. Your brain can only handle, this is proven. Your brain can only handle 90 minutes of focus. Only can handle 90 minutes of focus. After that, it's got to take a timeout. It's got to reset. But then you can go back into the 90-minute space again. But we're not there yet. We're getting there, but not yet. Habit. What is that habit, right? We've been focused on this is day number 3 on working and building on that habit. What is that habit? How do we grow and how do we elevate that habit? Take you through a story. One of the hardest things that I had to overcome as a kid, as an adult, was this inferiority complex I had with men that were over 6 feet. 6 feet and above, I felt super inferior to. I felt less than. I felt even more less than if their skin tone wasn't even the same as my skin tone. I felt more less than if I could smell their cologne or whatever they were wearing and it smelled like it was wealth. I felt less than if they would shake my hand with a strong grip. I felt less than if the car that they were driving in cost more than I would make in a year. Really wasn't much, right? I felt less than when I looked at their clothes and saw that it was different. It fit different. It was tailored different. I looked at their watch on their wrist. I felt less than if I saw that the watch they were wearing sparkled. Not with just jewels, but sparkled. Here's the crazy part. I would look at their ring finger, and if their ring finger was shiny with the ring, I felt less than. Which was the craziest thing for me. I had put myself in this psychological box for decades, thinking that people that were at a certain level or certain height, over a certain height, that I was not capable enough to do what they were doing. People that smelled and looked and talked and walked a certain way. Right? I was not capable of doing what they could do. They drove a certain car. They ate certain foods. They worked out a certain way. Like everything around them, I was like, if my mind put these people in this box and fit inside this box, I felt super, super inferior to them. To them. It was crazy. Here's the stupid part. You ready for this? Here's the stupid part. I've been speaking on stages. I've been speaking in front of crowds, hundreds and hundreds of crowds, people in crowds. I had help companies start from ground zero, and in 1 year do $5 million. This was before my last company that I was commissioned to do back in 2020. I'd help people take in their hard-earned money and inject it into helping their growth. And the crazy thing was they were all taller than me. They're all more successful. They'd all been doing things longer. And they were coming to me and asking me for help and question and guidance. And I had this problem. I had this massive problem. Like, why are you asking me? Like you fit into this mold that I have had over my head for so long. So freaking long. Why? That's what I asked myself. The question, why? What I found was deep work on myself as a man, as a father, as a husband, At that time, I was just a single dad. Who I was at that point, but it had been through the majority of my life. That's how I felt. Deep therapy work, deep-rooted therapy helped me get past this falsehood that I had over myself, this false narrative that I kept telling myself, this false bullcrap that I kept putting in front of me and saying, this is why I could not be successful. This is why I am where I am. This is where I got the raw end of the stick. This is where I got the BS. This is where I got the BS promotion, if you will. What happened when I started to really pull back the layers and rip out, and I mean, not just move, but I mean rip out this negative thought in my head, uproot it. Then I started to see my life through those that actively have helped me throughout my years. A habit is formed and birthed oftentimes out of the pain that we have gone through, or this fear, right, that we have told ourselves over the years. Come on. I tell myself, what in the heck was I thinking? Fear. False evidence appearing real. You are a crappy father. Fear. You are a crappy husband. Fear. You are a crappy employee. Fear. You are a crappy business owner. Fear. You are a crappy upper level manager. Fear. You are a crappy investor. Fear. You are a crappy fill in the blank. Put whatever you want. That is what is injected oftentimes when we go through what we've gone through. Single dad, divorced dad, and now bonus dad. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Habits now are going to rip that out and throw it so far out of the stratosphere that we aren't even going to be able to know and understand or recognize that portion of our life anymore. No more are you the dregs. No more are you the scourge and the scum of this earth. No more. Regardless of what you did, regardless of any of it. Number one habit you should do, if you haven't figured out a habit yet, is one, focus on forgiving yourself. That should be highest priority. When you can forgive yourself, when you can learn to love yourself, and when you can learn to experience that joy of attitude of gratitude, everything else disappears. Not for a time, not forever, for a season and for a time. When I started to learn that I had to forgive myself for things that happened to me that I didn't have control over, that's when the next elevation springboarded. That's when the next growth happened within me. That's when I became a new person. That's when the birth of my understanding what I have and the gift that I was given. What happened for me so it can happen through me to elevate. That's why you're still here, 10 days into this, and you are still crushing it. You are still elevating. You are still becoming that amazing man that I know and see that your children have watched birth into something new over the last 10 days. And now they're going, dang, you've got a little giddy up to you. Your wife starts to look at you and go, dang, okay, your spouse says, damn, you're looking sexy right now. You start to carry yourself. You got a little more swagger in you. You got a little more gusto, a little more fire behind those britches. It's amazing what happens when you start to forgive. So, day 10, if you haven't figured out a habit, that should be your number one habit, to forgive yourself every single day. And we're going to talk about that here shortly. Stick with it. Stay with it. Grind it out. You deserve it. Your spouse deserves it. Your future generation 100% deserves it. Love you, boys.